Hello everyone and welcome to another match of Roulette Rivals 18. We begin a very high stakes Tuesday on the second to last week of the competition, starting with the losers bracket round 6 match between 3-time RR finalist Dein Nomos and 3-time RR champion Yannini. I am not joined by Chris X3 at the moment, but he might any minute now. But even if he doesn't, we are going to have a very exciting cast here. Between, a very exciting match rather, between two amazing players. Okay, which buttons do I need to press to make this work? Apparently now it's alright, and the match were all really good sounds. So we do get to begin this match in a minute and a half, starting on Dain's pick of Mumbai, and we will also be seeing Sapienza as the second map, and I am currently unaware of the remaining RNG maps, so I will be as surprised as most of you are, but hopefully not all of you, because you are much more knowledgeable than me, especially checking the matches channel. This has been obviously interesting and exciting tournament rounds for both players so far, starting with Dein, if I can find him in the brackets. He started in round 2 as the second seed of the tournament, and actually the number 2 in challenge as well. He has defeated Falcon 6-0 and then defeated some random person 6-2 before falling to Dein Nomos, and that winner's round 4 loss has brought him here to LB6, while Yanni's journey has been well, not all too different. Also top 4 seed, number 4 in challenge, but I think number 3 in actuality. Defeated Nicholas and then lost, you could say somewhat surprisingly, because he is definitely a bigger name than Channel Reindeer, but Channel is the dark horse and definitely outstanding player of this tournament who has made it to round 4, but Yanni has fell in round 3, and from LB4 he has defeated Afro 6-4 and Channel joined 6-4. He is a big fan of 5-mapper matches, so it could be yet another one here today. Two of the most established players of the community begin a very deadly first to 6 match in this Mumbai. Wazir Kali SMG as Vanya's servant, no target specification. Vanya Shai injected poison Barber, and Dao Dragon falling object as food under this spin will not allow, technically can allow, at least Dao to be pacified, but realistically none of these targets will be KO'd throughout this Mumbai. Dein is very quickly in. I think a big knower of Chol's isolations from every for every disguise, and obviously by Chols I don't mean Chol stars, but the thug hangout area at 1 minute, but it seems like Dein. Well, I'm not entirely sure if you can. Oh yeah, you can get Vanya's servant by bullet distracting and tranking the servant, and Dein will make it back for the isolation. I feel like Dein is playing on not a lot more than 30 FPS, and I don't see it from the okay, so I guess 720p and no frame restriction. Okay, well, why am I? Let me hide it, sorry. Cool, now it's like then. But yeah, Dain's game feels a bit choppy. I'm not sure if that's how he feels as well, but not great. Hello, Color Lonely. Looks like Dein is not going for the thug isolation, but the second best thing is the 1 minute and 45 second I guess poop hole ISO, the briefcase in hand, kind of a bit of waiting, and Yanni is finally in, almost 2 minutes. That's uncharacteristically slow from him, but obviously Mumbai sometimes need some sort of planning. I do not really know the way the Maelstrom operates from Vanya's servant start. I guess Yanni will be hoping that it will be the same as the other starts. Dein gets the kill on the Maelstrom, and I'm not seeing any panics. It's the usual 150 timing, not really often used, but very safely. Maelstrom is down for the first of 3 kills for Dein. Okay, getting some information about the servant start from the players in chat. It is not as niche. Yeah, I can definitely buy that, although not from Apricot, because if it's not niche for Apricot, it doesn't mean much for the community, but it's a good start by Yanni. And looks like Yanni could have had the radio timing at 40 to 50 seconds according to Apricot. And it's gonna be a replan back to... Well, it is a good question, perhaps. It's time for Charles. I think Yanni would have started Charles if he had a strong sense of how to get the Vanya servant in time, but may not be the case here. It will be Charles for Yanni. In the last minute for Dein, he after eliminating Vazir, went to grab the Barber. I think one Trank and one KO, which is fine. Second Trank was on Vanya's servant, so it is all working out to loadout pretty fine. The last loadout item that we don't know about is the injected poison, or it is yet to be used rather. Or... yeah, because this spin doesn't require a blue egg, because you will end with the snipe on the wouldn't. I guess with this kind of spin, very nicely spun by PG, our match admin here today. Definitely one of the easier ones to complete, and I suppose there's a world where obviously it is doable to grab Vanya's servant, sorry, and the 1 minute ISO for Maelstrom, but it was 145 and poop hole. I think other than that, Dein has been perfect so far, and he's definitely tracking towards that map win, but we have seen that this top triple KO will remain a problem for the eternity of this competition, but 2 KOs down, the third one is probably also fine. The anti-lethal syringe will bring Dein the second kill.
Confirmed kill on Vanya shop.
Final real task for Dein is to grab the food vendor, or grab a food vendor. I think even without a sedative, it's not really a problem to grab. Definitely quite a few options on this corner of the map, but I think it will be the one at the beach house, the roamer between his food vendor buddy, or taxi driver buddy. And Dein even has, I think that's the blag, the remnant of the the meta spin, and Dein might be using the blag regardless, but no, it's gonna be a KO. No, it's gonna be a blag. Yanni is also getting Vanya's servant. It's a bit more tricky because the timing has worked out for the poop hole, but it wasn't, the briefcase wasn't seen by the Maelstrom, and I think he didn't hear it either. They couldn't juggle the two things together. So it seems like a very comfortable Dein win if this falling object does work. I feel like this is on the sketchier side. When you have the available angles to choose from, you can shoot it from the boat exit, ideally with a Kruger. You can shoot it from the wall at the edge of the hill, but this might work out. Do not want to see... oh, triple shot, and I think Dein is trying very hard to not uncrouch. And it is going to be a 6:33 finish, but it is a bit sketch with SMG of all things. And it is going to be a 2-0 win for Dein, with Yanni not really warming up in this Mumbai. But next up is Sapienza, which is Yanni's map choice, and something that he's naturally much more accustomed to. So there's really not a reason not to think that it can't be a 2-2 after 2 maps. Yeah, thank you, Vidam. Very good observation. If Dein does it, it's probably safe. But you never know, and Dein can rip as well. But it has not happened in this Mumbai so far. Can this happen on the remaining maps of this match is of course a good question, and it's something that Yanni doesn't necessarily have to hope for, because he is a faster player than Dein. But I think Yanni does need a clean Sapienza to get into this match, and also Yannini is the player with the most 6-4 reverse sweeps, I think 4 all time. He does not want to get 2 maps down at this point. Sapienza is Yannini's choice, and obviously it's one of the top maps for one of the top players. In terms of maps played by Yannini all time, Haven stands first at 43, Sapienza second at 42, Colorado 40, and the 32 wins is definitely the highest though, 76% win rate, obviously eclipsed by actually only one map of Mendoza, but it is definitely an all-time great map for the all-time great. Dein 12 and 5, and the very beamable personal best is obviously also very strong, but 17 plays is not in Dein's top 5, 12 wins is not in Dein's top 3, and Sapienza is not a top map in terms of win rate, so I think Yannini did well choosing this map. It is a map beyond the stats where your confident first try relies heavily on execution, and there is not a lot of ways that you can be out-strategized, and not that Yannini is one to not find the best strat, but I think in terms of a straightforward spin, Yannini is much more likely to execute it faster. Silvio Caruso Sniper Rifle mentions security. Francesca De Santis electrocution as biolab security is our Sapi spin. I guess with the extra addition of this being a remote kill, you do not necessarily have to start biolab for this, but I think it is the most simplest of the approaches, and they will opt for that lab start. Yannini starting suit, realizing that he does not need the biolab security next to Franny, and with the suit start, there are many ways to catch Franny before, or I guess when she enters her room, crucially KOing both of her guards, which would leave Franny unfound for the rest of the spin and for an easy detonation. And if that's the case, then it's all about a quick panel shot and a round to victory with a free biolab. Hi, Movies Chris here yet? No. I would try to give him a bit more space, but I will not try to impersonate him either. So it is very much opposite starts here. Dein going with the simple and sensible biolab start and already has the security, and Yannini is going for, I think 110 is what he believes is the earliest safe panel shot, which I think Yannini ends up being right here, because I would say it's 105, but Yannini also needs to set up this electrocution, which is extra time. He also does have a total of 4 Chang darts, and now the big trick of this spin, can you get this double KO, or the one Chang and the KO? These guards can be very trolly, but Yannini gets them both down. I think at this point there's not a lot separating Yannini from the first and the second kills, but of course Dein already has the disguise here. Not that it really matters, of course. Because it is not going to be a detour for Yannini either. Someone is going to investigate the thing, but Yannini quickly notices that it was luckily from inside, and that could be mitigated quickly. But with all of these delays, Yannini is now late for the safe Chang timings, but still does have 2 more Changs remaining, and barely gets these 2 Changs. Does he have the angle on the second one? It is going to be a KO. Oh, but the guard downstairs seeing it, so it could be some waking up very soon. Yannini is at the place where the chef could be finding this body soon, so I don't think that's... Yeah, that's why he's waiting a bit longer and dragging the body. This is going to be tough for Yannini. I think he would be better off to, at this point, hide maybe Silvio, because I mean, I guess Yannini could exit in like 40 seconds. They might not find Silvio in time, but this is very risky. He is the first one to get to the observatory. Dein 15 seconds behind, but Yannini does not need... Or Yannini does need a disguise still, Dein does not. It's going to be very close, and Yannini's red guns are looming very closely. There's the second disguise for Yanni. Snipes with the sniper. Dein has the EMP, that's going to be a couple extra seconds, and I do not know the loading times, but it's going to be a tight photo finish. Yanni getting Austria objectives down, still green guns, and it seems that the guards did not path to him in time, and Yanni might likely take 2 points here, but I don't know exactly, because Yanni is an actual 50-50 between never preloading and just staring at himself for the 3 minutes, which could lead him impressive loading times, or if he does preload, then he has one of the fastest PCs on the community, and then it is gonna be very difficult to keep this lead, especially with Dain's less than 1080p stream, so I assume not super fast PC. Yeah, PB for Dein, if he gets to take this map. Heated conversation currently in the Rs, that's internal channels, that ties should or should not count towards personal bests. Maybe the time has come to change this approach and ties should count. We will have to see about that, but for now it's a 358 by Dein, a 355 by Yanni, and it is all coming down to the loading times. Not seeing any immediate reactions, obviously first try for both, so it's gonna have to be calculated by PG thoroughly. Hopefully with a result that is not on the line of the 2-second margin either way, because that's of course always a tough decision to make. I mean, obviously the numbers will tell you if it's a 2 or 1, then it's a win. If it's less than 2 seconds, then it's a tie. Moose says that he would wager that you can count Dein and basically no. I think Yanni's 50-50 here. Yanni can either have a 3-second load or a 9-second load, because I don't remember if he preloaded. While Dein, I could safely say that Dein has like a 7 or 8-second load. I could be wrong there. I'm very interested to see the result. I don't know. You say basically never, but I have seen plenty of preloads by Yanni, or just accidentally loading in rather, even in this tournament, so I wouldn't say it's 100%. But obviously can happen that he happened to not preload this time, or happened to preload this time, I wouldn't be sure. 3-second lead is significant though, and after all, 321 by Yanni, 323 by Dein Nomos. The better strat was the suit start by Yanni, not by the 2 seconds that we are seeing, but a couple more than that, but obviously it was a lot trickier to manage the sync, turning on and off and distracting the guard, the double chank into the one last, I guess that was not the KO, but situation with Silvio, the extra dragging. I think with hindsight, the bilap start could not clock much below this 323, but Yanni could definitely sub 3 if all things go his way. So luckily, this is one of the faster of the photo finishes to calculate, just one on each side. We will have to find out if I could see also results here. I don't think Dein will flip this to a win, but chances are there. 1 second. All quiet from both players, as well as the admin. Let me see the remaining maps, just in case. Or, I mean, we will be using one of them. Well, likely more than 2 of them. Match between Nomos and Yannini has been scheduled. Mumbai Sapienza we have had. And oh yeah, I remember now, because Yanni was happy about this RNG. Well, or relieved or optimistic, because it is going to be 3 quite quick maps. First it is going to be Dubai, then Hokkaido, then hold your ears, I guess, but Dartmoor is map 5 if it gets that. Yanni, who has played map 5s in the past 2 rounds and is generally known for his tight matches and big wins and big comebacks, could seal the deal in a very difficult, very stressful Dartmoor. But for that, we have to go to 4-4 for that to exactly happen. And we have the results here. And Dein has loaded for 6 seconds, Yanni has loaded for 10 seconds, so it was a non-preload by Yanni, extending his lead to 6.9 seconds, taking the map. So now we have 2-2. Don't know if I'm hearing sound from both players, but I think as long as I'm hearing from one, I'm fine. Dubai is next. 2 more minutes until then, and I guess it's time to talk about the very short history of these 2 players against each other, because they have only played each other once. It was in RWC 23 in the early rounds of the knockout stage, with Nomos completing a sweep of 6-0, eliminating Yanni in, I think that's 17th place. I think so anyway, although Dein ended up losing in the next round, if I'm not mistaken, because that's the 13th place next to him. Dein, of course, the player who is now widely considered the best player yet to win an RR title. Always different names circulating there. Some join the conversation, some leave. I think most famously Mu has left the conversation by winning R17. And obviously Dein hopes to do the same. Very unfortunate track record for him so far, specifically against Scruffy, and I will keep mentioning this whenever it's not awkward, but he has played Scruffy 6 times. He has beaten him all 3 times outside of a grand final, but he has lost to him in all 3 of the grand finals that he entered. So obviously for Dein to get a final here, that's gonna be, I think, 4 more victories, including this one. No, after this one. So it's a long track ahead, but Yanni, the big loose bracket advocate, can vouch for the possibility of long LB runs happening. This is Yanni's 3rd match in the LB, this is Dein's 1st match in the LB. Obviously one of them will continue and one of them will be eliminated in 9th place. And of course, yeah, as Chen Reindeer says, even if he gets to the LB9, which is almost the LB final, then he will meet Chen Reindeer and lose to the Serbian. 3rd spin is here. Carl Ingram loud sniper rifle as a kitchen staff, or the kitchen staff rather, and Marcus Stuyvesant silenced MG as Ingram's bodyguard. I think this is fairly simple. Curious to see if
All right, gather up.
this is, yeah, or immediately interesting, because Art Crew would kind of make sense to get the double isolation down, ending on the Marcus kill, and then grab kitchen staff and end on Carl, but it is going to be a kitchen start for both of them, with Dein taking a slight lead. I will not be fooled by the in-game time difference. That was a long load by Yanni this time. And yeah, a couple of very niche ideas to do here. Clear out this room, that will be the black for both of them. Subdue 1 guard, KO, and hopefully drag Marcus, because I don't think you necessarily have an angle if you don't do that. Dein pauses to grab the KO item and drags. Yanni also has the propane flask, and both of them will be dragging Marcus. I think the lead is still that 2 or 3 seconds towards Dein, but is mostly mitigated by loading times. Yanni has... What is that even? Did he have a... I don't even know where you can get key cards from, but it's possible to grab the... Oh, Yanni did start with key cards, interestingly. And now time for the crucial isolations. I don't think... Yeah, Yannini gets all 3 of them down. Dein with a bit of a delay there. And he's not going gun flash. Yeah, it's I think one of the first opportunities that we can see Dein going safe, perhaps too safe. Order of operations will be the Marcus kill for... Definitely for Dein, and Yannini is sniping and killing as well. I think Yannini definitely lost a couple seconds to full-on subduing Carl there. Not really... I don't think it's necessary to subdue him, as the Dein will demonstrate this kill live, and after all this, I think the setup is done for both of them. Can they exit this too high with a loud kill? Long unpack will be the same for both of them. And now it depends on the angle you are shooting from. Bit of a wait, and then the shot for Yannini, same for Dein, but crucially he is taking longer, but Yannini is going to get red when Dein will be exiting, so that will decide this map. Yannini, I am not even super sure, because I did like the angle he shot the sniper from, but it was definitely a lot to look at the same time, and it is kind of a finicky spot to end the spin with. Dein survives, Yannini doesn't, and it's now 4-2 to Dein. I think otherwise it was a super interesting spin to look at, because if the initial assumption was correct that Yannini's load was a couple seconds longer, then we had identical gameplay for the first minute. I was definitely surprised to see Yannini plan the hackers, but it works. It's not too much worse than the breaching charge. Dein has lost time on the Ingram guard Trank sequence. Yannini lost time on the subdue, and I feel like he went a bit back and forth after the Marcus kill. And I think we left, or we entered the unpack animation, the slight Yannini lead, which would have definitely carried him to the finish if he stayed green, but alas, it was only green for Dein. Yeah, this is now a careful what you wish for situation, because obviously if you want to see Yannini in this tournament more, then you do need him to not lose the next map, even at the cost of seeing Dartmoor as potential map 5, but obviously if it gets to a photo finish tie here, then we can consider map 5 as a stepping stone to one of the few map 6s of this tournament. Minute and 20 seconds until that crucial Hokkaido. Obviously as a season 1 map, Yannini has vast experience in Hokkaido as well. I lost his R stats page, but obviously 22 and 11 is very strong there, 67% win rate. Tied with Haven, basically Berlin, easily in the top half for him. But I guess I can do a big switcheroo now and only filter for R16 and beyond, and if I look at that, then Yannini is 3-2 in Hokkaido, 5 plays in the last year. And Dein's 12-4 is definitely one of the best, his 3rd best map in terms of win rate, but if I filter it from R16 onwards, then we still have 3 wins and only 1 loss, so historically, or recently rather, these players are very difficult to beat in Hokkaido. I remember losing to Dein in R16. I don't remember playing Yannini in Hokkaido in the last couple tournaments, but it could definitely have happened. They definitely both know their gameplay here. 1 dart gun, 3 electronic key hackers, 1 durian. But other than that, interesting deviations, and it will have to be a centralizing surgeon spin. I'm almost sure it is Eric Soder's Shoot the Heart as the chief surgeon and Yuki Yamazaki Cleaver as a patient with no target specification. Curious quick loads there for Yannini, or quick planning time, but definitely once again a longer load. Uses the Blag, which has the tendency to be found. I guess the Cenk is the worst offender, but both of them grabbed disguise. shooting the heart will be doable with virtually any firearm. Then he's not taking it risky, and it's going to give a bit more of a lead to Yanni now. 5 seconds of in-game time, but I think Yanni has confused the scalpel with the cleaver, and we have to do these double KOs, which Dein has gone straight to. I wasn't sure if Dein is gonna go for the double KO or just steal the for the cleaver, but both of them have it now, and the lead has swung back to Dein, who misses the shot on the heart. And I think, yeah, if I was Dein, I would not go through the security hub. This is not only taking long, this is gonna be interesting to see for whether Dein can make the emetic timing. And now he will be blocked by an enforcer, and the cameras are still up. This is not looking great for Dein. It's gonna be a bit of an improvisation. But the long way around, he has to risk it. He's dodging the other enforcer. 115 now, 125 I think is the last prime position to shoot from. And now with the panic, the triple shot, Dein will have to restart because the patient was found for him. The Curian for Yanni works out. Didn't even have to get to the seeker timing. And what exactly do you do here? I think you kind of have to go for the patient, maybe keep that one door open, but I mean, as long as Yanni still has a key hacker, it's a bit sketchy, but I suppose it's doable. 1:55 is the time to remember, because that's when Yuki started puking. 60 seconds for Yanni to get all of this done. I would not get the second guard, of course. Same for Yanni. Apparently Yanni has run out of key hackers, or rather didn't start with any. 40 seconds still left to go. I think it's gonna be fine, but obviously very nerve-wracking. Dein has much better timings here, so much smoother second try, but second try does not do much here if Yanni gets this one done. 20 more seconds of Yuki puking. A wrench in hand, door still open. I think it's gonna be fine for Yanni. Could be a side kill, not that I want to see that happen, but Yanni gets the second kill down. Runs to the exit. I don't think there's much. For many ways you could do this faster. Obviously, if Duran gets multiple guards at sea, then it's a much easier setup to do. But with the resources Yanni had, this was a very solid performance facing an opponent's match point. We will go to map 5. And as I try to warn everybody, it will be Dartmoor for the decider. I think a map where you just have to favor Yanni. For I think multiple reasons. Obviously the faster player, but also in this match so far, I feel like he is doing better in the hairy situations. Obviously Dubai didn't go his way, but the match point of Dein was quickly neutralized in this Hokkaido. Although I am not sure about if I'm looking at these win rates. I am sorry, Zionical, that is entirely correct. Anything can happen in this next map, you are right. To Mika, I know what you mean on the RS stats page, but I think it's... I would prefer not to even consider that record anymore, because I think for a first 6 it would have to be a map 6, which is called a decider, not a map 5, so... But yeah, it could be a very fast final map. And identical PBs, not so identical win rates, although they both have won 10 of their Dartmoors, and one of them will certainly win their 11th. Certainly, not certainly, because it can be a timeout tie, obviously, but it can be a photo finish tie as well. But crucially, Dein has lost 5 Dartmoors and Yanni has lost 14. And I think I do remember something about Yanni and trying to get to 50% win rate, and the Dartmoors are making it less likely that he can get up to 50%. He's now, of course, -4. His last 2 Dartmoors were losses. That was RBC to Scruffy and R18 rounds 3 to Channel, which was Yanni's map pick into a 2-6 loss. Yanni's last loss to date, of course. And as for Dane's previous couple of Dartmoors, he has lost to Randy in R18 round 3. He has lost to Timecube in the winners final of the RWC, so they are both not looking too comfortable before this potential final map of this exciting match. It is Alexa Carlisle Kitchen Knife as Mansion Guard. Tough to say, they are both starting fast forward, but Kitchen Knife is usually one where you would consider VI. And now that I had 5 seconds of thinking time, I think VI start and grabbing a crowbar and grabbing Mansion Guard could be advantageous, because otherwise it could be a more than 2 minutes fast forward, but we have to see about that. Kitchen Knife is not in the kitchen, that's a season 3 saying, I guess, because Mendoza is on my mind as well. And that is nowhere near the single Kitchen Knife of that map. At least it's not Alexa live, and I suppose there is a chance that one of these players will go to the kitchen. I am not hoping for that, but that will be the main knowledge check of this spin. I think you're meant to strictly think about orders of operation here. Emetic Alexa for sure, and I think it would be better to start with the Rebecca Trank and then go upstairs for the Kitchen Knife. Joker is very happy about bad bathroom spin. Dane going with a safe angle and is actually taking the lead kinda, but only because Yanni did take the bodyguard disguise, which is going to give him time to operate. And Dane is looking to KO Alexa. I suppose that also counts as a buffer disguise, but that's definitely Dane going perhaps too safe for this part of the tournament. He'll be grabbing the bodyguard, but Yanni doesn't have a lot between him and finishing the spin. That is a body found, but the Trank to Rebecca is no issue. Yanni already has the Kitchen Knife, and Dane will be 15 seconds behind. That might be a photo finish, but he's certainly looking Yanni's way.
Oh, great uniform.
That is a GG, bearing, you are right. But Yanni's gonna go around. The Enforcer dot is scaring him a little, and she won't be puking forever, but I think she will be puking for another 10-15 seconds. The body was found on Yanni's end, is now being investigated by the outside guard. Is he able to snatch it from behind? He cannot. He's going to try the disguise change, and it's looking fine, but Dane has gotten the kill.
Mission complete.
I think both its simultaneous jinxes on pitch, because this does not work out for Yanni. That one last Enforcer dot made it difficult to Yanni to exit, and making it impossible to exit with the first try at this point. Dane wins the map, wins the match, and oh, it was so difficult for Yanni. I think it's not even the Enforcer dot that he had to dodge. The fact that the bodyguard was found made it basically very difficult to finish. Although Yanni will be trying to get this exit, it is so unfortunate it will be for naught. No more chance for so long now. 33 seconds. Gets the finish, and I think he's happy about that finish, but we'll have to be a 6-4 regardless. I think it's just so sad from Yanni's end, because it was such a hero's journey, but it's for interesting at 2:53, so not that much longer than Dane's, but Dane Nomos wins Dartmoor and stays in the tournament. That was a psychotic run, says Yanni, and I think that's very fair to say. As far as Dartmoors go, not much more you can fit in 60 seconds. Enforcer dodge, stealing a disguise, bumping and trying to sneak with Alexa, and that after all was a 5-star SA finish, which I'm sure it will fit in some clips, but it will not be as significant because it was not for a match win. But yeah, with all that, it's a flip-flop flip, as Joker says, and Dane was never behind in this match and advances with a score of 6-4. And with that, scrolling, we have our first player in LB round 7, and Dane Nomos secures a top 8 finish. following the RWC second place, right? I wanted to say that I couldn't really fit that in, but after finishing second in a tournament, Dane usually underperforms, looking at R12 and 16, but this time he is still in top 8 and will be facing either Fenium or Apricot in LB round 7. Apricot, one of the dark horses, definitely, and nice to see him in the last 12 with a single-digit finishing position for sure. And of course, Fenium is the huge returnee of this tournament, last playing 1 year ago, last having a deep run 1.5 years ago, so look out for these two players because they don't not have much to lose as opposed to Dane. So very exciting of these top half of the winners bracket, or the losers bracket, sorry. If Dane wins, or Fenium or Apricot, then I guess for clarity I will say that he will face, or they will face, the loser of Scruffy versus Quotility. This is the Scruffy versus Quad side of the LB in their journey to the LB final. We have 2 more matches on this very exciting Tuesday. Next up is Parapluie versus Skylar as the final LB round 5 match, a bit after deadline, but I think the bracket is still looking good enough. That will be called by Aphrodite and Isan in just 20 minutes. And then 2 hours later, we will have Fenium versus Apricot, the match that I mentioned. That is LB6 by Glebelk and Kebon. And one more LB6 match yet to be played. Channel versus Observer will be Wednesday. With, I assume that Mika versus this next match's winner will also play tomorrow-ish, but no pressure. Obviously, it can be Thursday as well. But Thursday, as of now, is for the winners bracket semi-finals. First, it's Moo versus myself, and then 2 hours later, it is Scruffy versus Quotility. Do look out for these matches, but I assume that after today and tomorrow, most matches will be held on here on twitch.tv/roulette rivals. I think that should be it from me today. Unfortunately, Chris couldn't make it. Hopefully, he is all right, but we will hear many great casts from him in the future. Thank you to PG for admin this one and handling the, I think, in the end, 1 photo finish and couple close maps as well. Thank you everyone for watching. GG support players, and until next time, see you everyone.